All right, so what we're going to take a look at first of all is how to construct an iterator, which is a separate object. So let me set up a very simple scenario where we're going to build a binary tree, and then we're going to implement different forms of traversal. In actual fact, we'll only implement one form of traversal, but hopefully that will be enough to tell you how to implement the others. So let's suppose we're building a binary tree. So the class which makes up the binary tree is a node, and I'll make a generic type, node of t. So I'll have public t value. Once again, I'm using public fields here. I'll have public references to the left and right nodes in the tree. So I will have public node of t, and I will have left and right here. In addition, I will have public node of t parent. So that's going to be a reference to the parent node if there is indeed a parent node. So for the root node, parent will be null, obviously. And then I'll have a bunch of constructors. I'll have a constructor which simply initializes the value. Let's get rid of this part because it can be null. The value can be a reference type or a value type, so who knows. And in addition, let's make another constructor where we'll initialize the value as well as the left and right nodes. Now, in terms of, once again, I'll get rid of this part, but in terms of getting the parent initialized, then the parent of any nodes which are children, so these are effectively the left and right children of the current node, they're going to be set to the current object. So we're going to say left.parent equals right.parent equals this. Okay, so we kind of set the parents automatically, and now what we can do is we can already start using this node definition to build a very simple tree. So I'm going to build a tree which looks like this. So I will have a value 1, so we're going to be using integers. I will have the value 1 at the top level, and then I will have the value 2 on the left branch and the value 3 on the right branch. So a very simple binary tree with just 3 elements in it, and we're going to traverse this tree, and we're going to do an in-order traversal. So just as a reminder, the kind of traversals you can do in the tree, if you do in order, the traversal will be 2, 1, 3. So first of all, you go to the leftmost element in the tree. If there is indeed the leftmost element, then you go to the root and then the rightmost elements in order. So in order traversal will be 2, 1, 3, and then you can do other traversals, like for example pre-order traversal would be 1, 2, 3, I believe, and there is also post order and so on, which is going to stick to in order for this particular demo. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we'll define the root. So I'll say var root equals new node of int. So we're going to have integers. So the root has the value 1, and then it has 2 children with the values 2 and 3. So we'll make a new node of int with the value 2 and a new node of int. Try to press the right shortcut with the value 3 here. So this is the tree. And now I want to traverse the tree in order. And for this, we're going to build the classic iterator. So the classic approach to the iterator is where you actually build it yourself, as opposed to letting the C# language generate one for you, which is how it's done normally. And we'll take a look at it in the next clip. So now we're going to make a new class called inOrderIterator of t. Also, because our node is generic, we have to have this thing generic as well. So here we will have a few critical members. So the first critical member is node of t called current, and this indicates the current node, or the node to which the iterator points. We will also have a constructor. In the constructor we will take the root, so we'll take node of t called root, and we'll do something with it. And then the critical methods of an iterator are, first of all, move next. Public bool move next. So move next attempts to move you to the next element being iterated, and it returns a boolean indicating whether that operation succeeded. So if you're on the final element, this move next will return false, but if there is a way to go, it moves to the next element in the right order and it returns a true. So that's what we're going to build. That's the API. You can add additional methods here, like for example you can add let's say a reset method. So I can add a reset method, which would reset the iterator back to the starting position. So now the question is, well, how do we implement this? And clearly, from the outset, you can see that we're going to have a lot of problems here, and we're going to have a very unpleasant implementation, because you're probably used to yield return and recursive operations and all the rest of it. Well, if you're building an iterator like this, and I have to say this is more of a C++ way of building iterators, then unfortunately it's going to be a bit ugly. So first of all, we want to store the root somewhere. So we'll introduce a field called root, but in addition, we actually want to immediately set the current pointer, or the current reference, this reference, to the starting element being iterated. So how do we do that? Well, we find the leftmost element. That's how you start with in-order traversal. So what we say essentially is we say while, actually, first of all, we assign current to root as well. Current equals root. There we go. And then we traverse on the current to the leftmost element. So we say while current.left is not equal to null, current equals current.left. So if you can imagine, if we are on a tree which looks like this, so we have 1, and then we have 2 and 3 down here, 2 and 3, then what's happening is this value, the value of 1, actually happens to be the root. But because of our manipulations, we have immediately set the value 2 to be the current. So 2 is current right now, and 1 is root. And the idea when we do move next is we first of all pretend that we move to the second element, the element 2, then we move to 1, then we move to 3, and then we return false. So that's the sequence of operations. And for this to be possible, because the typical setup with move next goes something like this. You say something like, first of all, you make the actual iterator. So var it equals new in order iterator, once again of type int, and here you specify the root. And then you say something like this, while it.move next, you perform some operation on the iterator, get the current value, and do something with it. So move next, on its first execution, has to return whatever current points to. And for that, we're going to have an additional flag as to whether or not we yielded the start value. So I'm going to have here private boolean yielded start equals, well, we don't have to set it to false, it's false by default. So now that we have this kind of value, what we can do in move next is we can check whether we've yielded the starting value, and if we haven't, then let's just return true, because current already points to the starting value. So we can say if we haven't yielded the starting value, then let's set yielded start to true. Let's set it to true, and then return true, because we can in fact yield an element. So here the true or false indicates whether the element currently pointed to is actually is valid in actual fact, because we can sort of move past the iteration point and yield a null or something to that effect. So here we're saying, yeah, it's an okay element. Now that we have yielded the top element, what we need to do is we need to go into the other elements, and the way this is done is quite complicated. Once again, since we're not using enumerables and yield return and all the rest of it, what we do is we check whether the right part of the current node is available, and if it is, then we go to the right part and navigate all the way to the left part. So it looks something like this. If current dot right, actually let's do it. Current right, not so if current right is not equal to null, we set current equals current dot right, and then of course we make a big while loop where we check current dot left against null, and while it's not null, we set current equals current dot left. And then, of course, we return true. So we've navigated to the leftmost node of the right part of the tree, if there was, in fact, a right part of the tree. Otherwise, we do an even more complicated operation. And here what we do is we set the parent. So we make a variable for the parent. We say current.parent. Because now we have to navigate up the tree. And then we say while parent is not equal to null and current is equal to parent.right, what we do is we basically set current to the parent, current equals p, and then p gets assigned to its own parent, p equals p.parent. So we're trying to walk up the parent stack, and when we have done so, we set current equals p, and then we return. And here's the question: what kind of value do we return? Now we can walk up the stack to the point where current actually ends up being null, and that's the terminating condition for our whole iteration. So we return current not equal to null. And that is the implementation of our in-order traversal. As you can see, it looks ugly. I mean, it's nowhere near as intuitive as you want it to be. There is lots of this weirdness with the temporary variable and whatever. I can't read it. I mean, I know what it does, but it's not nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this implementation of move next, and we're actually going to output the current value being iterated. We'll put a comma in between them, and we'll put a line break at the end. So I'm going to write it.current.value. So that's the current value being pointed to by the iterator. I'm going to write a comma here, like so, and then I will write line to terminate the line. So let's see if what we've just built actually works. Hooray! So we get the right iterations. We get 2, 1, and 3. So what I've just illustrated, and you can also add additional things here. Like, for example, if you want to reset the iterator for some reason, you just set current equal to root, and then you say yielded start equals false. Now, what I've just implemented here is the way in which iterators actually work under the hood in systems like the .NET framework. So in the C# language, this is how the for each statement works. It just does move next, while move next, please yield the current value. So I've implemented this by hand, but I've also given you a taste of just how ugly in-order traversal is, and it shouldn't be like this. In-order traversal should be recursive, and unfortunately we cannot realistically do recursion here. So we're going to do recursion on the next demo, and we're going to move away from this idea of having a separate object being the iterator, because the C# language builds a state machine specifically for this. So there is no point in making our own iterators of this particular form. This is the C++ style of doing things, and luckily in the C# language things are a lot better.